Brian Michael Galloway here with We Don't Need No StinkingRecordCompany.com, and we are in the midst of a series called How Do We Make Money Now? We're talking about what's happened since the economy's crashed, and how can we get more out of our music skills and some of the related situations that we're in. And I know we've talked about some of the basics last night. Let's get into a little bit more. You've been probably thinking about your playing skills and playing related skills. Do you read? Do you read music, and or are you a quick study? And I'm thinking maybe you could get work as an accompanist. Accompanists make a lot of money just helping other people out, and some of them are not doing very complicated stuff. They're doing very simple kinds of work for singers and other types of performers. But like one example would be religious services. I know an awful lot of people that play flute or sax or maybe trumpet, violin. I've seen guitar, some bass, that are getting paid to play on Sunday morning, Saturday afternoon. Not such a bad gig. It's very lightweight, helpful if you can read. You might even be able to work yourself into some weddings, and that would be wedding ceremonies, or getting some gigs for your band to play at some of the receptions afterwards. So that's an angle. So that's a pretty easy leap. How about accompanying a theater company? A lot of these plays need music, and having live music is awesome. And maybe just a single duo or trio of a couple instruments, or somebody who can switch to a couple different instruments, is enough to get the job done. I've actually done several plays where I was, either myself and one other person we were the sound effects, and we played piano, guitar, mandolin, all these goofy different things to get the sound effects across, and to create musical interludes. It worked great. I'd almost be willing to do warm-ups for plays for free because of all the gigs that I get out of it and all the exposure I get and the CDs I can sell. That's pretty cool. How about studio recording for money? Now, here, as far as I know, being a quick study is more important than being a reader, at least the things that I've seen. Reading's nice, but if somebody can say play the 1 and the 4 and the 5 chord and you can block that out, well, a lot of times it's pretty straight ahead and you get that done. I was called recently, it's been a little while back now, by Abby LeCue, who is an Ethiopian pop star, and she needed an acoustic and electric guitar on one of her recordings, 2 of her recordings, and it was a blast. I had a lot of fun and made a little extra money and got to be in a different style of music, but bring my own thing to it. It was awesome. Do you have a recorder? You can almost cut some of this stuff from a distance sometimes and email or FTP in your tracks. So those are some options for you. If you've got a good hand, you know how to read music, not necessarily even sight read music, but you can basically read music. You could be a copyist, and you could also, if you've got that skill, you could arrange for bands or orchestra. And there's plenty of people needing that these days in these jazz bands that are out there. You may have picked up some tech skills over the years, as in sound and lights. How about running sound and lights for other acts, or plays, or church, or whatever? On the playing front, you might be just thinking about the clubs, but don't forget house concerts, conventions, corporate events, parties, Christmas parties around this time of year, birthday parties. Anything from a single up to a 5 or 6 piece band, or in some cases a 10-piece band, would work in those situations. Now songwriting for money is an angle, and that's a tough one, but we'll talk about that in a post or two. But finally, I've often heard that there are 2 things you can do in music: you can play or you can teach. Well, we've just proven there's a bunch of other things you can do. But teaching ain't so bad. You don't even necessarily have to be a master in your instrument to teach. You could teach fundamentals if you understand them well. Maybe you teach fundamental piano or fundamental guitar, and you get those kids turned on to music, or get the adults to kind of break the ice and get started. And then when they get up to a certain level, you hand it over to the concert pianist. You might even be better than a concert pianist at getting the idea across and getting those kids turned on. So those are some ideas for you. We've got more. I am Ryan Michael Galloway, and you're at WeDon'tNeedNoStinkingRecordCompany.com. Thanks.